Hello students, welcome to my class on operating system. Today I will discuss semaphore, a critical section solution of critical section problem. I am Shravani Kundu, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. The aim of after going through this lecture, you will be able to understand how to solve the critical section problem with the help of the semaphore algorithm. So far, we have discussed two different classifications of algorithm which is used to solve the critical section problem. The first one is the software based solution, which is called the Peterson solution. So this is called the Peterson's algorithm. Next one is hardware based solution. This is number one. Number two is hardware based solution. This is out of two types. One is test and set and second one is swap algorithm. So those algorithms are used to solve the critical section problem, but there are some disadvantages for these two algorithms. So first of all, the Peterson's algorithm is used to solve the critical section problem between two processes. If there are more than two processes wants to access the critical section, then the Peterson's solution will not work for it. The second one is hardware based solution. In the hardware based solution, it is really difficult to implement for the application level programmer. So we need a better solution which is easy to implement by the application level programmer. So semaphore is a solution which can be easily implemented in application level. Okay. So now we will discuss the semaphore. Now before going to the details of the semaphore, I want to discuss what is semaphore. The semaphore is nothing but an integer variable. Okay. And that apart from the initialization, that means that integer variable can be initialized by some value, and apart from that initialization, the integer variable can be accessed by using two functions. One is wait function and second one is the signal function. Fine. So what is semaphore? We can say that it is any variable. So let us say that this S is a semaphore variable. Fine. So S is an integer variable which is used to handle the critical section. That means which process can access the critical section, that can be decided based on the value of S. And S can be accessed by two functions. The first function is called the wait function and the second function is called the signal function. So by using this wait and signal, these two functions, the semaphore variable S can be accessed. Other than these two functions, the semaphore variable S cannot be accessed from any other function. Fine. So now we will see that how this using the wait and signal function and using the semaphore variable S, which is an integer variable, we can solve the critical section problem. Fine. So before going to the details of the algorithm, first I will write down the function of the wait and the body of the wait function and the body of the signal function. So let us write down the wait. So wait, where we will pass the semaphore variable S. Fine. Now here we will write while S is less than equals to 0, then do no operation. Fine. So this is infinite. If the value of S is less than equals to 0, then there is an infinite loop. The execution will continue in the infinite loop. Otherwise, the value of S will be decremented by 1. So this is the function body of the wait function. Now there is another function which is called the signal. So let us write down the body of the signal function. So we will write it signal S. Now inside the signal S, we will write the code, which is very simple. We just increment the value of S by 1. So this is S++. So these two are the body of the wait function and this one is the body of the signal function. Okay. Now we will see that how this weight and signal is used to solve the critical section problem. Now, first we'll write down two processes. So let us say P1 is a one process and P2 is another process. Now inside in the body of the P1, we will write down the body of the P1 is like this one, 2. Then this is the beginning section. Some instruction set of statements are present over here. Beginning section. Then we have to write down the code for the entry section. So this is our entry section. As you know, this is the common structure of the critical section solution algorithms. So there must be some entry section and there must be some exit section. So in the entry section, we have to write down some code. That entry section will control that whether the critical section should be executed by the process or not. So after this entry section, there is a section which is called the CS or critical section. Fine. Now after the critical section, again there is a section which is called the exit section. Okay, fine. So two sections are there. This is entry section, this is exit section, and finally the remainder section, that means rest of the code for that particular process P is present over here. Okay. So what will be the code for the beginning section? So in the beginning section, we have to write down. So let us say here for this process P1 and P2, we use the S as a semaphore variable. Fine. So S is our semaphore variable, which is a common variable which is used by both the processes P1 and P2. Now inside the beginning section, so this is the entry section. Fine. So we will write, let us write down, this is our entry section. And this is our exit section. Fine. Now in the entry section, we have to call the function weight, and here we have to pass the value of the variable S. In the exit section, we have to call the function signal, and we have to pass the variable S, nothing else. Okay. Now the same code should be present for the P2 also. So for the P2, there is a do. This is the beginning section. Again, there is some entry section. This is the entry section where this weight S will be there. Then critical section is there. Then the exit section where there is a signal S. And then the remainder section where the rest of the code is present. And this is end, and okay, we have to write another thing. This is while, because it is in this loop will execute in number of time, infinite number of time. As per your condition, you can control the number of execution. So we will write while one. Okay. Now, what we will do? The semaphore variable S is always initialized by some value. Fine. So what you know, that the value of S is always initialized by 1. So let us write down 1 over here. So 1 is the value which is initialized for the semaphore variable S. Fine. Now between P1 and P2, between these two processes, both wants to execute the critical section, so both will execute the wait function. Now if P2 execute first, that means P2 execute the wait function first, then P2 will execute, send the value of S. The value of S is 1, 1 less than 0, which will not satisfied, so it will come out from the while loop, and S will be decremented by 1. So the value of S will become S minus minus. That means the value of S will become 0. Fine. So once the value of S will become 0, so what will happen? It will complete the execution of the wait function, and this execution of the wait function is completed. So the control comes to the next section, that is in the critical section. So P2 process P2 can execute the critical section. In the meantime, if P1 wants to execute the critical section, it should execute the wait function. So it will execute the wait s. So while it will execute the wait s, it will send the value of s. Now what is the value of s now? The value of s is 0. So 0 less than equals to 0 is satisfied. So this while loop will be executed, and continuously the value of this, the condition will be checked and then the while loop will continue the execution. So that is an infinite, the control cannot come out from the while loop. So that is the main reason over here. So using this this logic, we can stop the execution of the critical section by the process P1. So P1 cannot complete the execution of the wait test till the value of s is equals to 0. Fine. Now, if P2 completes its execution of the critical section, it will come out from the critical section and it will execute the signal function. That is the exit section. So while it will execute the signal function, it will increment the value of s by 1. So that means the value of s will now become 1. So once the value of s becomes 1, the P1, process P1 is continuously monitoring, continuously executing this while loop. So once the value of s becomes 1, so 1 less than equals to 0, this condition will not be satisfied in the immediate iteration. So what will happen? The control come out from the while loop and the process P1 will execute the s minus minus. So while the process P1 will execute the s minus minus, again the value of s will become 0. Now the execution of wait function is completed. The function will return the control to the main process P1. Now P1 can execute the next section, which is called the critical section. So while the P1 will execute the critical section, if some other process wants to execute the critical section at the same time, again it has to wait with the help as the program of the wait function is written in such a way. So P1 will execute the critical section, and once the execution of the critical section is completed, then P1 will execute the exit section. So in the exit section, you can see that from code is s++. So the value of semaphore variable will be incremented by 1. So the 0 will be incremented by 1, and P1 will complete the execution of the critical section. So in this way, both P1 and P2 can complete their execution in the critical section. Now you can see the important feature is that if both the process wants to execute the critical section, the simultaneous execution is not allowed with the help of the semaphore variable, and the execution writing of the program using the semaphore variable is very easy for the application level programmer. Fine. So what will happen over here? We will first check, as I discussed, that each synchronization algorithm must satisfy 3 conditions. So the conditions for the synchronization algorithms are: number 1 is mutual exclusion. Number 2 is progress. Number 3 is bounded waiting time. Now, mutual exclusion. So first we will check whether the mutual exclusion is satisfied over here or not. So mutual exclusion says that 2 processes cannot execute the critical section, 2 or more than 2 processes cannot execute the critical section at the same time. So here you can see that the process P1 and P2, if P1 and P2 both wants to execute the critical section, so the semaphore, the wait function only allows any one of them to execute the critical section. So mutual exclusion is 100% satisfied over here. Now next condition is progress. So here you can see that the next one is progress. What is the progress signifies? The progress signifies that once the process will execute the entry section, that means while the P1 will execute the entry section, then P1 has to execute the critical section after that. Then after that it has to execute the exit section, then remainder section, and then it can go back to the beginning section, right? So progress is also present over here. So that is another condition which is satisfied by the critical section, the semaphore algorithm. That means after execution of the critical section, the process P1 cannot go back to the wait section. Fine. Now the next one is the bounded waiting time. Now what is the bounded waiting time? In the bounded waiting time, you can see that while the P2 process is executing the critical section, that means while the P2 is executing the critical section over here, P1 has to wait. Now how long the P1 will wait? So you know that to execute the critical section, let us say that we need T amount of time. Fine. So T amount of time means T amount of time is required to execute the critical section and the subsequent signal function. So how long the P1 has to wait? P1 has to wait for T amount of time to complete the execution of the critical section by the process P2. So here the waiting time is bounded as T1 is a finite or definite amount of time. Okay. So here all the three conditions for the critical section solution algorithms are satisfied by the semaphore. So we can say semaphore is a valid solution for the critical section problem. Fine. Now the one important thing you can notice over here, what is the value of S? The value of S varies between 0 and 1. So that's why this type of semaphore is called the binary semaphore. Fine. So now we will modify the semaphore, this algorithm in a little bit, so that there is a problem that infinite waiting, that problem can be solved. So you can see for all the algorithm we have discussed so far, like Peterson solution, hardware-based solution like test and set and swap algorithm, and the semaphore algorithm, this binary semaphore algorithm. So in all the cases, we are writing one statement, which is while within bracket semicolon. So as you know, if we write while, if I write while within bracket any condition, then if I put the semicolon, that indicates that it is an infinite loop. That means until the condition is not satisfied, until the condition is satisfied, the while loop will execute infinitely. So if the conditions of the while loop is satisfied, then the while loop will execute infinitely. Fine. So this is a one disadvantage of all the algorithm we have discussed so far, because in all the algorithm you can see that this while loop is continuously executing. That means though the process P1 and P2, any one of them is not executing, not performing any job, still it is continuously consuming the CPU time. So as it consumes the CPU's time, it is a wastage of the resources. Fine. So what we have to do, we have to modify the algorithm in such a way so that this infinite blocking, that means the infinite execution, that type of statement can be separated. Fine, can be removed. So so we will modify the semaphore algorithm, and we will discuss the same problem again with the help of the modified semaphore algorithm. Fine. So next we will discuss the modified semaphore algorithm. So in case of modified semaphore algorithm, so you can see over here, instead of taking that semaphore as a single integer variable, we will consider over here the semaphore as a structure variable. So here you can see, here is the structure type def struct. So this structure is present over here. So this structure represent the semaphore variable s. So previously, what we discussed that s is an integer variable, s is a semaphore variable which is integer in type and which was initialized by the value of 1. Okay, so now here in case of modified semaphore algorithm, so here the semaphore variable s is a structure type which has two parameters, one is a value and second one is a list of processes. Now what is that list of processes? I will coming later. Now the value of this semaphore variable s will be initialized to the value 1. So that means if s is a structure structure type, then what we can do? So okay, before that we give the name of the structure. Let us say the name of the structure is semaphore. Okay, and s is a variable of the structure. So definitely this s variable has two parameters. One is a s dot value and second one is s arrow list. Okay, so s has two elements. One is value and another is list. Now this s dot value will be initialized to 1 before starting the execution of the critical section procedure by different processes. Okay. Now another important thing is that this s, okay, this value can be initialized or modified by two processes. One is as wait function and second one is the signal function. Okay. Now we will write down the body of the wait function and we will see how the wait function can handle the control the semaphore variable. Okay. So in the body of the wait function, we will pass the semaphore variable. So we will write down wait, and in the argument part, we have to send the semaphore variable. So we will write down semaphore star is, this is variable which we have defined over here. Now what we will do here, we have to check, as you know, it has two parts. One is the value and second one is list. So we will write is arrow value. First we will decrease, okay, decrease the value of the semaphore variable by 1. So that is, we will write down s arrow value minus minus. Now next we will write check if s arrow value is less than 0. Okay. So in previously you can see there was while loop where there is an infinite loop. That means instead of doing any operation, any job, it is continuously checking the condition, which is unnecessary, which is a wastage of the CPU time, CPU resources. So here we will do one thing. So we will check the value of s semaphore variable. So if the value of the semaphore variable is less than 0, that means some other process is using the critical section. So what we have to do, we have to pause the execution of the current process. So we will write add, take some another color, we will write add this process add this process to s arrow list. Okay. Then after adding it, we will block the execution. That means we will stop the execution of the process. So that operation we will perform if the condition is not satisfied. Okay. So this is all about the wait function. Now we will write down the body of the signal function. Okay. So signal, here also we will pass the semaphore variable. Now here we first will increase the value of the semaphore variable. So we will perform S arrow value plus is plus plus. And after doing so, we will check the content of the value variable. So if S arrow value is less than 0, that means less than equals to 0, that indicate that some process is already in the blocked condition. That means that process wants to execute the critical section. Okay. So what we will write? We will write remove a process from S arrow list. Okay. So that means if the value is less than equals to 0, that indicates some other process is present inside the list and we have to remove it, and we have to wake up this process P. So remove a process, let us write down P, remove a process P from the list and wake up P. Fine. So then we will close the if block of if, and this is the close of the function. So that is all about the wait function and signal function of the semaphore variable. Fine. Now we will check how these two functions are used to control the critical section problem, to handle the critical section problem. Okay. So let us say there are three processes, P1, P2, P3. Okay. So apart from all the beginning section and remainder section, I am not writing this. I am just writing the main part, that how to handle the critical section. So we will write down wait S, then critical section, then we will write down the signal S. Okay. Now for the process P2, we have to write down wait S, critical section, and then signal S. For the process P3, again I have to write wait S, critical section, signal S. Okay. So in this way, multiple processes wants to execute. If they multiple processes wants to execute critical section, they will write down their block in this way, in this manner. Okay. So this is the entry section, this is the exit section, and between the entry and exit there is the critical section. Now we will see how the three processes can execute the critical section one after another using this algorithm. Now you can see that suppose P1 wants to execute the critical section. So for all the processes P1, P2, P3, there is only a single variable which is called the value. So we will write down, this is called the value. Okay. And name of this is dot value, where S is a semaphore variable. Fine. Now what will happen over here? While the P1 wants to execute the critical section, it will execute the wait S function, and this S value is initialized to 1. So as it is initialized to 1, so it will be S dot value minus minus. So that means the value will be decremented by 1 and it will become 0. So 0, if 0 less than 0 will not satisfy, so it will come out, it will not execute the if statement. That means the process P1 will not execute the if statements, it will come out from the wait function and it will execute the critical section. Fine. Now while P1 is in critical section, if P2 wants to execute the critical section, P2 will execute the same wait function. So with the value 0, semaphore variable is the value of the semaphore variable 0. So it will come, if P2 will execute the wait function. So S arrow value minus minus. So now our 0 will become minus 1. Fine. Minus 1 less than 0, in the if statement it will be satisfied. So P2 will be added to the list. So what we will do, we will write down a list. So let us say this is our list. Okay. So we will add P2 in the list. After adding the P2 in the list, we will stop the execution of the process P2. that is blocking. P2 cannot execute and perform any job after that. So which was previously there, that means though they are not able to execute the critical section, but they can continuously execute consuming the CPU cycle. Fine. So here now if P2 is blocked, P2 cannot continue its execution. Now suppose P3 wants to execute the critical section in the same time while P1 is in critical section. So P3 will execute this wait function with the value of semaphore variable -1. So it will perform -1 minus minus. So that means this value of the semaphore variable will become -2. Okay, and in -2 less than 0 will be satisfied. So P3 will be added to the list and P3 will be blocked. So you can see that P2 and P3 is added in the list. They are blocked. They are not doing any job. They are not performing any operation. Now, if P1 complete the execution of the critical section, it will execute the signal S. In the signal S function, you can see if the operation is S dot S arrow value plus plus. So plus plus means this value -2 will be incremented by 1. So it will become -1. Now -1 less than equals to 0 will be satisfied. So if block of the if statement will be executed, remove a process from P arrow list. So which process will be removed? The first process P2 will be removed and it will wake up. So once the process P2 will be removed and it will wake up, so execution of this, you can see one important thing, that P2 was blocked after execution of this particular statement. So that means when the P2 will be waked up, P2 will execute this brace, it will execute this one, and it will come back and execute the critical section. Fine. So while the P2 will execute the critical section, it completes the execution of the critical section and then it executes the signal S. So while it will execute the signal S, again the -1 will be incremented by 0. Fine. 0 less than equals to 0 will be satisfied. So remove a process from list, which is the remaining process P3. So P3 will be removed from the list and wake up. So again, P3 was suspended while P3 has executed the block statement. So that means P3 starts its execution from this point. So P3 will execute this brace and come out from the wait function and it will execute the critical section. Now while P3 will execute the critical section, it completes the after execution of the critical section, it completes the execution of the section and execute the signal function. So while it will execute the signal function, signal S, again the S arrow value plus plus, that means 0 will be incremented by 1, so it will be 1. Fine. 1 less than equals to 0 will be not satisfied. If block of the if statement will not be executed, come out. So you can see that all the processes P1, P2, P3 can execute the critical section one after another. Fine. So in this way, the multiple processes can execute the critical section by satisfying the mutual condition, mutual exclusion, exclusive condition, mutual exclusion. Now it also satisfied the progress and it also satisfied the bounded waiting time. So the modified semaphore algorithm with the help of the structure is a valid semaphore algorithm which is able to solve the critical section problem. Okay. Now there is some small problems, small important points we have to consider, that this semaphore variable, that means this semaphore solution, semaphore based algorithm is basically used for the application level programmer to write down solve the critical section problem. Now the important thing is that the improper use of the wait and signal function can generate some other problem, like if the user or the developer programmer write down the signal function first and then if they write down the wait function after that, then the purpose of the execution of signal and wait will not be satisfied. That is a one disadvantage. Number two disadvantage is, suppose the developer has written the wait function Then they have written the critical section, but they forget to written the signal function. Again, it can create the problem. So improper use of the weight and signal function may create lots of problem for the application program. So we should be very careful before using the semaphore variable or semaphore signal and weight function, semaphore process, to solve the critical section problem. Fine. So in the next class, I will discuss some important problem of the which is called the classical problem of the synchronization. They are called the bounded buffer problem, dining philosopher problem, and reader writer's problem. So those problem I will discuss in the next class. And you just for your information that improper, I want to say that this improper use of the critical this weight and signal function also can generate a problem which is called the deadlock or starvation. Okay, deadlock and starvation, which I will show you while I will cover the portion deadlock, this topic deadlock. So I will show you how the improper use of this critical this signal and weight function can generate the deadlock or starvation. So here you can see this is a one example weight. If you write only weight without signal function, it will always generate the deadlock. Here it is always generate the, it is also generate the starvation problem. Fine. So there are so many ways, so many different combination, and you have to know that what should be the proper way to use this semaphore algorithm to solve the critical section problem. So that's all for today's lecture.